notice this after combo, but like smell yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you smell like a frog. I've experienced it myself. I smell like a frog after combo. And so to me that makes sense. A place of care and a place of wanting to help heal. Like you're healing yourself and then you share that with other people and then they share that with other people.
Yeah.
And like that's what we're told to do.
And a lot of these medicines from the Amazon, I believe that they're working with the ancestral bodies as well. And as long as all of us are doing that work and all of us are unpacking that, so many codes of DNA and so many lifetimes, that we want to make sure that we're all working to clear those stigmas
together.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for staying. I'm here to share with you the beautiful transmissions from the walls of my cavernous heart and to witness the great frequency shift that we are moving into as a collective and the beautiful deep work that we are doing as we glide into the age of Aquarius. This is the Liminal Frequencies podcast. Let's go.
Welcome to the show. How is everything settling in for you? Now, we are in kind of a sandwich, kind of a pinch point between the Mars retrograde, which is still going on for another couple of weeks, and the upcoming Venus retrograde, which we are in the shadow of. And so this is a total rewiring of our feminine and our masculine energies. And we may feel that in our resentments are coming up, or we don't want to show up in some of the ways that we've been showing up before. And I encourage you to just reflect during this time on what is coming up, where the resentments are, where the anger is, or where you haven't been able to go inward, and how does that feel? That's a beautiful segue to our topic today with Shanna, Kambosera, and today we're going to dive even deeper into the ancestral implications and the traditions of the beautiful medicine of Kambo and how it's just transformed people's lives. It's transformed cultures in the West for us to be able to receive a medicine which feels a lot more feminine to us than some of the ways that we've been dealing with things. It encourages us to go inward. And so I pulled a card for today's episode from Kim Krantz' Archetype, Wild and Unknown Archetype Guidebook. And the card is the ocean. The ocean is the unconscious, the depth, the incomprehensible. The power of the ocean is unmatched. To step into its salty waters is to step into the unknown. By its sheer volume, the ocean represents the unconscious, all that is beyond our understanding. We cannot live within the ocean. We cannot claim it, manage it, or own it. It rejects our every attempt to dominate nature. Yet amid its overwhelming power, it calls to us, inspires us, and invigorates our life on land. It dissolves the little us into the big us. When the energy of the ocean is present, there is change stirring that is beyond any change you've known before. The ego must dissolve. The saline swells work on your very cells, your fibers, your deepest underlying beliefs. Like Aphrodite, we rise from the ocean's froth in new being. Life is change. Let the wave crash. The ocean displays every emotion without shame. To witness its glassy moonlit surface and its unforgiving storms is to know the full spectrum of the human experience. And this also points to me what we have going on with Uranus being Uranus being direct is we're experiencing the sweeping changes in the area of your life that's related to Taurus. So if you have planets or a house number in Taurus, that is the area of your life where you may experience some dramatic changes since 2018. And this is going to be coming to some kind of conclusion as we move into the next side in the next few months. And so the ocean is really evocative for me of Kambo and how our emotions can often be on their own journey, and how we can surrender to those emotions and allow them to flow literally out of us in a way that can help to regulate our whole system. So you're gonna want to get your snorkel out for this one, because it's going to be salty, it's going to be wet, and you want to be able to have some clarity under those deep swells. So let's start with a little 3D medical disclaimer, and then we will be moving on to the show. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. The content shared in this episode is not designed to replace professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or any other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Despite what you hear on the show, please engage in your own research. So Shanna, tell me about how you got initiated into serving Kambo.
Yes. So when I did my training, so I did it with Kambo International. There are other training groups. There's some in the jungle. There's some here. Kambo International felt like a really good choice for me. I really liked the teachers, and it was in Washington where I live. So yeah, our training involved an initiation. Which was insane, personally. So we were together for 2 weeks, and we were doing Kambo, not every day, but we were learning how to give Kambo to each other. And so we were taking Kambo pretty frequently, and we were kind of working our way up, right, in like dosage, number of points, this kind of thing. And then our final initiation, so our final ceremony, we all had to do 3 Kambo sessions in 3 hours.
Uh-huh.
And you can do that in a safe way. I don't serve that. I think that's specifically for being initiated into Kambo personally, having experienced how intense that was. But it did feel like the right thing to do at the end of our training, to be like, this is your moment. This is your chance. Yeah. Are you going to do it? And so...
and you had to climb a mountain in between each one, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And this was like the ultimate mountain. So I remember the most vivid part of this, because you're doing so much Kambo, and in between the sessions, you have about a 20-minute rest period. Mm-hmm. But the 20-minute rest period is going so fast. And all you want to do is like, please, for the love of God, no more Kambo. Mm-hmm. And then it's time to do Kambo again. And you purge sometimes through vomiting, sometimes through sweat, tears. There's many ways of purging, right? Yeah. But then going number 2 is another big purge that people have. And I remember there was only one toilet for like 8 of us. And so I had to go in a bucket in a closet.
Oh my God, initiation.
It was literally an initiation.
That's wild.
And I will always laugh about that, because at the time I was miserable, and looking back, I'm like, wow, I did that.
And then what was it like afterwards? Were you like, okay, now we're going to like rest and like... It was, I'm sure you felt bonded to those people forever.
Oh yeah, definitely. The bonds you create in particular with medicine friends, doing medicine together, but then doing these trainings together. Yeah, you definitely go through a very unique experience that not many people can say that they've been through.
Yeah. You're like, I'm alive.
Yeah, surprisingly, I survived that. Yeah, and we all survived, we all did it, and we all served each other for the 3 hours. We all did it together.
Wow.
So, it was very powerful. You learn a lot about yourself.
Yeah. I talked to another practitioner about this, and she had a space where there was maybe only one bathroom. And she said it just always worked out where there's only one needed at one time. So yeah, it's amazing.
It is amazing. And I have observed that actually in other, like, holding space for ceremonies and things like that. There's usually only one bathroom, and for some reason it always works out.
Yeah.
That, like, multiple people don't need to go at the same time.
But if one person is going, they're purging for everybody else.
Yes, totally. But in this case, actually, and having experienced that and having experienced other things with Kambo, I can now go, okay, if somebody has to do that, it's okay. Or I know how to hold space for that person because I've also experienced it. So like I served a group of 3, and the only toilet they had was a bucket on the side of the yurt. Okay, so that's how they had to go. And it's like, oh, I've done that. It's probably not, the most fun scenario, but sometimes that's how it is, right?
Yeah.
And so if people are willing to do it that way, I'm good with it because it does the job.
Yeah.
If you gotta go, you gotta go.
Absolutely. And you visit people's homes, right? So there's everything's comfortable there in their home.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, so I visit folks' homes because at the present moment in 2024, I do not have a good space to serve myself. My home is very small, and so it's really good for me to go to other people's homes, whoever wants Kambo. And then I also have a space in Port Townsend that I serve that is specifically for people who live further out, so that we can kind of connect together and so meet in the middle. So I serve at that space too. So it just depends on where people live. Yeah.
Nice. And can you tell us a little bit more about the ceremony with the way that you prepare people, with the drumming, with how your connection to the medicine comes through in that way?
Yeah, preparation. So are we talking about preparation for others and for myself? For
the ceremony, for the event. And
yeah. So I always send a document about a week ahead of the scheduled ceremony for clients. So it basically just says, this is how you prepare. And it really is a choice for the most part. And I'll explain what that means. So pretty much 3 days to 7 days is a good amount of time to prep before your ceremony. And what that includes is like eating healthy, just making good consumption choices. So if you're on social media, is that serving you? Mm-hmm. If you're watching TV, is that serving you? Just really being observant of your life and like, how can you bring more peace and balance into yourself before such a intense ceremony?
Yeah.
So those are suggestions, right? These are choices that people can make for themselves. But then there are contraindications and cautions. And like so contraindications, obviously those people who have those cannot participate in the ceremonies. But with like cautions, don't do hot yoga the day before Kambo. Don't do a sauna the day before Kambo, and or even a few days before. And that's because you want to really have your strength in your body. You want to be physically ready and not depleted from something else, and then come into Kambo, which actually can be kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are the preparations.
Yeah, and the actual ceremony itself, how do you set up for it? What does it look like? What does it feel like?
Yes, I love that question, especially like the feel. Like, so I want to create a space that is energetically clear.
Yeah.
And so when I prep a space before the client comes, or I guess if I go into their house, I'm just doing like a little cleansing quickly. So I have a bell. Usually the bell is really nice to cleanse the space, or I'm burning some herb, like cedar, or something like that, like a cleansing herb, just to kind of mark it as like, okay, now we're entering into a different space.
Yeah.
And it is clear for your work. And so then I set up my altar. Yeah, I have everything ready. I have a shikapa, which is a bundle of leaves that basically makes an instrument.
Yeah,
that people
a
use.
rattle.
Yes, like a rattle. I also have another rattle. I have a drum. And anytime I'm using an instrument beforehand, I'll spray it with agua de Florida or something of that kind, just to like prepare it as well.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, this is your time to, we're going to sing together, basically.
Yeah.
So, just like being mindful. And I also really like to ground with hape. So I'll serve hape to my clients right before combo. But for myself, I also like to do that just to like settle into the space physically.
Yeah. Open a portal of healing and medicine in the space that you're in.
Yes.
Wow, incredible. And then do you also use the eye drops?
Yes, and I also provide Sananga if people choose. And those three medicines, so the Sananga, Hape, and Kambo all together can be really, I mean, I think they work very well together.
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting a full energetic cleanse when you're doing all three.
Yes. So have you actually heard of people using combo for hunting?
Oh, interesting. Yes. So combo used for hunting is actually just exclusively for people who live in the jungle.
Yeah.
And so what that actually means is, and to the degree that I understand, because I think these are really nuanced things.
Yeah.
And so what I understand is traditionally, men in the jungle in a given tribe that works with combo would take combo the morning before a hunt. And that's actually to disguise the human scent from animals in the jungle.
Wow.
Yes. And so the interesting thing is, I don't know if you've ever noticed this after combo, but like smell yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you smell like a frog. I've experienced that myself. I smell like a frog after combo. And so to me that makes sense. It's like, oh yeah, no wonder they're disguising their human scent. Animals can't then know that there are humans in the jungle.
Wow.
Right? They smell like a frog.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's to the extent of which I understand that.
Yeah. And there's nothing about how your senses would be activated more, or like you were saying with the peptides and the endorphins, and your body is, I think anything, jump in cold water, or even supposedly eating like a vitamin, something with a lot of vitamins or phenols, can actually stress your body out enough to produce glutathione and hormones, and to be like, okay, let's do this thing.
Yeah. Yes. And that too, thank you for bringing that up. So other than disguising the scent, you're right, it does build endurance and strength, and it does open your ear, like your hearing and your eyesight. So, your hearing and your eyesight aren't magically transformed. You're not like a jaguar now, but you can definitely sense more deeply after combo.
Yeah.
There is a shift, even though it's maybe subtle. So that's a part of the hunting too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
One of the reactions to combo that I've heard was I felt really organized after. Just all of a sudden, all the projects and the things that were undone were just like, okay, it's time to do them. Really focused.
Yeah.
So cleansing out all the extra clutter can make space for maybe what we want to step into more.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, that's a great point too. Sort of calms the nervous system and just kind of helps you really focus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, it's so interesting to hear how different cultures anchor into these traditions, and what you've seen like abroad, and if there's anything that maybe you want to share about that, how people are using the different medicines and just using maybe things that are really kind of normal to us. Like, you clean your house, but in these traditions, you actually do cleanse your space, or you cleanse your body to make space for what's coming.
Yeah. So I can say one interesting thing. I mean, there are many interesting things about observations I made in the jungle with the Matses tribe and how they work with combo. But one really profound thing for me was that they actually serve combo to their children. So here, we don't do that. You have to be 18 or older to have combo, and I would not serve a child here. But in the jungle, it makes sense, and it's because that is their vaccine.
Yeah.
So if you get worms, which is very common in the jungle, or a bacterial infection of some kind or whatever, like there's so many things that can happen in the jungle.
Yeah.
Combo actually helps restore your body back to balance. And so as early as 6 years old, they give their children combo.
The child's dose.
Yeah. And it is a child's dose, right? So
they're
not giving as much as maybe a full-grown adult. But when we were doing combo in the jungle with the Matses tribe, we did combo quite a few times. the children were helping us. They were holding space for us.
Wow.
And there were some children who were also doing combo. There was like 3 kids who were doing it with us. But then the rest were holding space for us while we were in our process. So the kids are really involved in this. I mean, it's, as I said, it's their life. It's a huge part of
and it's
who
so
they
beautiful.
are.
And they live so close to the earth, so they maybe just understand intuitively, here's what we're doing and what we're connecting with.
Yeah, I think because jungle life is so different. It's not here. It's a vastly different experience, right?
Yeah.
You're living in the jungle, and you're living in community, and you're living with your family, and you're living with generations, and this medicine has passed through the generations. So it's a totally different paradigm shift, right, than what we've grown up with and what we've experienced here in the West. And so, yeah, but for them, it just is. It's just a part of what they do. So although we might use combo a little bit for maybe for different reasons sometimes than they do, they also understand and they share the medicine with us because they know that we need healing in the West. This is verbatim. This is what they shared with us. And so they're like, yeah, we want to share this with you because we know this is helpful. Even if we do it for different reasons, we know that this is something that...
I think I heard somewhere that the Amazon is the lungs of the earth.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
We need to take care of those lungs. We need to make sure that, the trees and all of those things are healthy, and we're giving back to that is a really important part of our stewardship.
Yes.
But also the lungs are detoxifying the whole organism. And so there are all these medicines there that I believe are really important to us.
Yep. Yeah, you're totally right. And that is a rabbit hole of conversation that we could definitely go into. But yeah, I do believe that as well. The Amazon is very crucial part of the earth. And so many medicines come from there that are incredibly healing, incredibly profound. And I do think on a cosmic level, and how we're all connected, I do think that place, it holds very special vibration for all of us.
Yeah, and just the people that live so close to the earth that they really listen, that, they really have an ear to the ground. And I believe there was a group from Colombia, from the Amazon there, and they were spreading a message to people and trying to connect with the earth before a crucial transition is reached. And they actually spoke at the Arctic Circle.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I have not heard of it.
Yeah, if I find it, I'll share it with you. But it's just incredible that you're coming all this way to share this message.
Yes. Yeah. It's no wonder to me that this is all happening now at this time on Earth.
Yeah.
With climate change. And there is a lot of indigenous tribes that are traveling around the world now and sharing a message, sharing medicine, teaching us how to serve here in the West, these kinds of things. To me, it makes sense that this is happening right now.
Yeah. And how beautiful, too, to get the approval of the elders there, that you went and you visited and you got this sense of we want you to share this. Yeah. This is helping. Yeah.
And of course, it can be a slippery slope, right? With serving medicines as a Westerner, there's a lot in there to unpack and work through.
Yeah, there's a lot of stigma.
Yeah, and from a colonial perspective, right? There's so much there. There's a lot of baggage. But then going into the jungle, and they're from a place of integrity and a place of care and a place of wanting to help heal. You're healing yourself, and then you share that with other people, and then they share that with other people.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here to do.
And a lot of these medicines from the Amazon, I believe that they're working with the ancestral bodies as well. And with the ancestral bodies, we've all been everybody, right? We're all tapped into this collective. And so we need to heal the paradigm or the story of the conqueror and also the native and the victim. And as long as all of us are doing that work and all of us are unpacking that, right now, we're who we are. But, having that perspective of we've all shared so many bodies and so many codes of DNA and so many lifetimes that we want to make sure that we're all working to clear those stigmas
together.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely.
I love it. So tell me about one of your favorite self-care practices after combo, specifically first for the client that you work with.
Yeah. Okay. So my best recommendation, and actually, I want to preface this with every tribe actually has different philosophies around what you should do after combo.
Yeah.
But the philosophy that I've learned and that I actually hold to is you need to rest after combo. Like, don't have anything planned the rest of the day, if at all possible. If you do, it's okay. But if you can make space, please do. Take care of yourself. Be in quietude. Take a bath. Just really like love yourself. Rest. Sleep all day if you need to. Eat really well. Nourish your body. Other tribes will say like you need to work. You need to like get out and go work outside or whatever. But do you think
that's because of like we're so hardwired in the West that you shouldn't tell people in the West to work, but people over there are like just going out and standing in the field and being in community is healthy for them?
Right. Yeah, I think there could be something to that. Again, it's very different cultural and, it's a different paradigm of life and living. And so here, I don't think anyone's wrong in whatever tradition, right? They're kind of saying this is what you should do. But I do think just for me and in serving this medicine, I do think Westerners should be resting more.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe if it was like an every month thing that everybody did, it would be like, go out and be in the village and have this very low impact, low paced work.
Yes, I guess. Totally. Yeah, definitely. And then self-care for myself is usually, I like to make space for myself too after when I get home and to rest if I need to. And actually, I would say like the most important thing I've learned serving combo for 4 years now is that I need to have really good boundaries when I serve medicine. And I think all healers need that, right?
Yeah.
We have to learn that sometimes the hard way. And we're all healers too, because those of us who are in these professions, because we're naturally inclined to give, to share, like we want to love and help people. But then there's this aspect where I've had to learn boundaries, and I have learned boundaries really well because of combo and serving combo. So one of the things is when I first started serving combo, I would get really, really exhausted after serving, like just wiped out, energetically wiped out. And I learned it was because I was using all of my energy to hold space instead of like pulling up energy from the earth and these sorts of things, and like just creating like a really strong barrier for myself. So still being open-hearted, right? Still like being a loving presence.
Yeah.
But also knowing this is my boundary, this is my energy, and I am not giving all of my energy to this.
Yeah. Wow. And so do you have a personal practice with combo? Like, do you have a regimen that you use?
Yes. So most of my combo, it has evolved over the last 4 or 5 years. It's definitely evolved quite a bit. And now at this stage, I always do combo before I do a medicine ceremony. So I do combo before I have another medicine ceremony happening, and that really helps me ground, do like that preliminary purge of just kind of like whatever clutter is going on mentally, physically, emotionally, and then I'm like feel really prepared for a mother ceremony.
Yeah, and so that's a common practice that people use to kind of clear that clutter, like let them to be present for the medicine and help them to be also more cleansed.
Yes.
For the ceremony, for the medicine to come in.
Yeah. And combo kind of provides this like loving presence in the mother space that feels a little less, her claws aren't coming out as much. If that makes sense.
Like kind of a little bit of a sacrifice. That's what I've heard about diets for ayahuasca and stuff. It's like you make yourself a little bit of a sacrifice for working with it. And you're like, okay, I'm preparing myself. I'm not having tons of sugar or something that, is just giving reverence to it as well. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Do you ever do like small
like 1 point or something like that?
Yeah, so an option with combo is actually to do, so yeah, you can do 1 point. And actually, what happens is the more you do combo, and this may not be true for everyone, but in my experience, the more I've done, the less I need.
Yeah.
And that's true for a lot of things. So the less I need, so I actually, if I do a large dose, I'm only doing 2 points. Whereas if I serve someone for the first time, I'm doing 3 to 5 points for somebody. So, but usually like one does it for me. Actually.
Yeah.
One will get me there because I've done so much combo, and I just know like that's enough.
It's already operating within your cells,
Mhm.
so you're already there.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then there's also the option of microdosing combo, which isn't very common, but it can be really helpful. I actually served someone the other day a microdose because they have a lot of health issues and their body is in a very sensitive state. They're not contraindicated, but we just really wanted them to be, I wanted them to be careful, right? We wanted, so doing just a microdose, you're not drinking any liquid. It's 1 point. They have the point on for about 10 minutes and you're not purging. You're just letting combo be introduced into your body. How is this relationship going? So I was able to observe, okay, are they okay to proceed with more combo in the future?
Yeah.
So that's another option that I utilize.
Did they notice anything from that, or is it too soon to really know?
Oh, yeah, that definitely profound, even just with the 1 point, even without the purging, a lot of realizations afterwards. And so,
beautiful.
Yeah, we're going to be doing more combo together, but full sessions.
Yeah, so. I love it. Yeah, and it seems like people have a tendency just to want to go full 100% with things and really feel it. But this is what this show's about, right? The subtleness and like the in-between state where you can tap into like the joy and the things that you know are real.
Yes, definitely. It is very subtle, right?
Yeah.
Like we're tuning in and there are these different languages that we've learned.
Yeah.
And they're so hard to actually explain.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all subtle. It's all subtle. But I think the more we're doing our work, the more we're going deeper into our healing journeys, the more we can like tune into what these subtleties are.
And that was going to be my last question for you. If there's anything else that you want to share and, how people can tap into those subtle frequencies and how people can find those whispers of healing and throughout their life, whether they're working with plant medicines or whether they're just in a garden, just listening to the plants.
Yes. Yes. I will make an attempt to explain so yes, being with the plants, just being in nature. I do think there are levels to understanding the plants, right? So for example, tapping in. So I went to herbalism school many years ago and I learned not just about the physical properties of plants, but like I learned how to connect with them. So like sitting in front of a devil's club plant and just meditating with this plant and just what is coming up for me? What do I feel right now in the presence of this being?
Yeah.
Right? So it's a lot of going within, a lot of quiet, a lot of meditation, a lot of trusting yourself.
Yeah.
And intuition is so hard to explain, but it really is intuition. That's, I think, the foundation of it, right?
Yeah. It's all in there.
It's
just like peel back the layers, which is what combo is about, and just let yourself feel it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like what's coming through that maybe somebody else might say like, no, you shouldn't do that. But you're like, I feel really drawn to this.
Yeah.
And like, I'm curious about this. Maybe I should listen to myself. Yeah. That's your intuition, right? Like kind of leading you.
Yeah. Wow. It's so beautiful. And thank you for your generosity in sharing all these things. I will put a link to your website. If there's anything else about you that you want to share, like how people can find you, but I can just share your website and people can come on there and find you.
Yeah. So it's comboherbalista.com. And so I'm sure you'll share that in the doobly-doo at the bottom. And then also my Instagram is Combo Herbalista. And those are the two best places to find me and to connect with me.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And what a powerful bridger of worlds that Shanna is in connecting the medicines of the Amazon and the Matses tribe and connecting them with the West in ways where I feel we very much need it, and we need to connect with the rhythms of the earth and the medicine that they have to offer. And so it's really interesting because in the intro we talked about the ocean, and now what's coming forward in this book, Psychedelics in the Soul by Simon Ugler, is a myth of Medusa and how actually out of the head of Medusa was a young maiden, and when she went into the temple of Athena, she was sexually abused by Poseidon, and Athena turned her into this monstrous figure, and eventually the monstrous figure had to be contained, and they called in the best of the creatures to slay her, and Perseus was able to slay her, and out of the head of Medusa came, quote, a giant named Chrysaor bearing a golden sword and a white-winged horse known as Pegasus. And he explains that in this book, Medusa's snake hair is perhaps her most memorable feature. It tells her she is connected to something reptilian and primordial. A scientific examination of the reptilian brain would suggest that a snake's sole concerns are food and threat. They might be your pet, but they are not your friend. The reptilian brain is where we fight, flight, and freeze response is evolved from. It is the place in our neurology where we shudder and flinch when confronted with the unspeakable. When our reptilian is triggered in trauma response, the autonomic nervous system kicks into gear as well. Our heart and respiratory rate increase, along with other imperceptible changes in our bodies, emanating from some ancient cave deep within our skull. The mammalian brain, however, contains the hippocampus, named after the Pegasus-like seahorse of Greek myth, which is largely responsible for memory and learning. The hippocampus is also connected to our limbic system, which allows us to feel complex emotions, bond socially, and regulate our instinctive reactions. Just as Medusa's headless body gives birth to Pegasus, so too does the human brain's development move from reptilian to mammalian, from instinct to emotion. And when we can rewire with all of these different medicines, our fear response, and we can put ourselves sometimes in these dicey situations of discomfort, like a combo ceremony, or jumping in cold water, or going on a vision quest. We can train our nervous system that we actually are safe, and we can show ourselves that we do have trust of what happens because we are connecting to divine energy, whatever you want to call it. We are supported in these times and spaces. So yes, knowing that we are going through a lot of changes, and it could be different for you, for your particular blueprint as your soul is moving through it. It could be really hard right now, or you could be catching a little break. You could be riding the wave as well. The ocean has some beautiful opportunities for recreation as well as just being churned within it. And I just want you to know that you are totally seen. I'm here for you if you would like some support. And I'm wishing you well until we speak on the next episode. Bye for now.